October 24th, 2000. A mass casualty event is held at the Pentagon featuring a plane smashing through to its courtyard with full-scale models and everything. Which is interesting to me because I feel like this should be the #1 story every single September 11th. At very least, it should have been the first thing reported on in the immediate aftermath. It wasn't. Why would you want to hide these simulations from public knowledge? Now, going back to this initial description of Amalgam Virgo, it states that this was a, quote, planning exercise involving the hypothetical scenario of a cruise missile or UAV launched by a terrorist group. UAV stands for Unmanned Aerial Vehicle, otherwise known as a drone plane. These aircraft are remotely piloted with various degrees of autonomy. The most infamous of these being introduced just 6 years prior to September 11th in 1995, the MQ-1 Predator. When you come down and look at its command and sensor systems capabilities, you'll find that by the year 2000, improvements in communication systems made it possible, at least in theory, to fly the drone remotely from great distances. It was no longer necessary to use close-up radio signals during the Predator's takeoff and ascent. Now, to many of us, it is believed that the U.S. went into Afghanistan in October of 2001. If you Google, when did the U.S. go to Afghanistan? It states that the U.S. went there in 2001. Even the Wikipedia page, Manhunt for Osama bin Laden, starts its timeline in November of 2001. But what if I told you it started before that? What if I told you that it started at least a year before that? What if I told you that the CIA was already in Afghanistan hunting bin Laden in the summer of 2000? What if I told you that their team name was the Bin Laden Unit and that they were using full-size Predator drone planes to do it? That's right. The Afghanistan hunt for Osama bin Laden started before the September 11th attacks. The only thing that changed following them was that now it no longer required secrecy. Now the hunt for bin Laden had the full consent of the public, along with new permission to launch a full-scale military invasion.
Here is Tom Brokaw.
Good afternoon, everyone. It does now appear that United States military action against targets in Afghanistan, that action is underway. Let's go to